Looking at all things education this morning. It's a new online school. Ivor Global is taking remote schooling to a whole new level. Believe me, you've not seen anything like what we're about to talk about. It allows teachers and pupils to engage and interact in a virtual classroom as though they were in a physical school. Yes, you're thinking emojis, aren't you? You're not too far off. It was founded by former head of academics at Advotech Groups of School, John Louis, in October of last year. Joining us here on the show. Morning to you, John. It looks amazing. So we're going to show some visuals of what it actually looks like in the classroom. I mean, this has just taken online learning, and you've just decided we're going to make this super cool.
It is amazing, Gareth, and it brings a whole new excitement to the world of online, beyond just sitting behind a screen and watching little blocks of faces on a screen. Our students, our lessons are live, and our students walk into the school in the form of avatars. They find their classroom, they take up their seat, and they wait for the teacher to start the lesson. It's a whole different game.
I was about to say, I'm so glad you used the word game, because I was about to jump in and say you've gamified education. That's what you're doing here.
We actually have introduced esports in a big way. Esports is the way the children are turning to today. And what we've done is we really just sat back and thought, well, online education has a massive future. And is online education just going to be about sitting behind a screen in a Zoom meeting or a Teams meeting? And so we started to understand the gaming world and how we could incorporate elements of that in the day-to-day schooling.
Well, I suppose it makes sense. If you here it is, we're busy looking at it now, and I mean, this is just, here comes the brain again. You've taken what kids respectfully want to do automatically, which is play games, online gaming, and you've now brought it into the education sector as well. What's the interest been like? What's the uptake of this been like?
Kids, when they see our visuals, they automatically have made the decision. Parents are the one that are a little bit more, take in terms of their decision-making process.
I know that, man. I recognise him. And so where can kids now, and let's go away from the kids for a second. How does a teacher, how does a parent or a school get onto this? I mean, this must be a massive build to put together. Basically,
in terms of how, I mean, the build to this is done by a company called Virbela, Virbela, and so we are just really in partnership with Virbela to try and understand how we can take this to another level in terms of teaching and learning. It is exploratory at the moment, but at the same time it's very, very exciting because you can see how the kids take to it. If we're not having lessons, we do our lessons between MS Teams and the 3D world, which we call Isle of Ivor. We're a little island in the middle of the virtual ocean. You can go for a boat ride. There are lots of different elements to it. But essentially, in this exploratory space, the kids understand that this is a new thing, and they're super excited to be part of this new wave of education.
And I'm just super engaged, and that's the problem with Zoom meetings as well, is after a while, the kids start getting bored. And they start switching off as well. So when we're talking about education, is this available? Is the plan here from grade 0 all the way to matric? Where are we in this journey?
So we take students from grade R all the way to grade 12. And we have grown by 500% since January. That's the excitement in this new space. And I can't imagine where we're going to be in a year or 2 years' time.
I'm so glad you asked, you mentioned that, because you said that online education, I'm not disagreeing, could be the future of education in this country. Post-COVID, will this still be a thing?
I honestly think one of the reasons why I decided to go into online education was because of the massive disparity in education in our country. And I don't believe that the solution is to build more and more schools and try and find quality educators to facilitate the learning in those schools. I do believe that online education, if there is going to be a solution for us in the future, online education is going to be it.
10 seconds. If someone's watching this going, I have to get this for my kids, I have to get them enrolled, where are you sending them to?
ivaschool.online. That's it.
I want one. I think Toombs and I must get an avatar for ourselves. We can do our show virtually.
You're welcome to join me and do the show from our world.
There we go. Toombs, we can do. Toombs like, yes, How are we going to? We're going to do this. What a pleasure to have you with us. John Louis, Ivor Global School, the 3D virtual school, your own little avatar and everything. That's how schooling must be done.